What up, faithful? Welcome to the first ever episode of the Forever Faithful Nation podcast. I'm Corey, one of your co-hosts, aka Controversial Corey. That man at the bottom of the screen, that's Larry, aka LG. That's my co-host. What's up, brother?
What's up, fellas? Hey, first episode. We are in the house, bro. Let's get it cooking. Couldn't been waiting more for this. Hey, let's get it popping, fellas.
Let's get it. Let's get it. That man in the top right corner. That's Brian. That's my draft guru, aka Breaking News. How you feeling tonight, man?
What's up, boys? You know what? As LG said, I'm just super thrilled and hyped to be kicking off the first episode here of the nation. We've been talking about Niners our whole life, but to actually get together, the combined 50 plus years of watching and enjoying the sport, man, I just can't wait to pass on the tidbits and knowledge to the other faithful out there that are wondering the same things that we are.
That's what's up. That's what's up. Y'all ready to go to work?
Oh
Let's
yeah.
do it, man. Always ready to eat. Look at me.
First thing I want to get into tonight, free agency. How we feel about the crop of players we brought in? Is there anybody y'all want to see brought in? How we feeling, LG? How you feeling, bro?
Oh man, look, hey, we shocked the world, bro. First out there at the gate. Look, hey, nobody saw Mike Evans coming. Like that was the thing for me. We knew the wide receiver room was one of the weak areas. Pearsall can't stay hurt. Um, we making do with what we got. Jennings was a free agent. We knew, that was something that needed to be addressed. Who do you bring in? One of the all-time greats, one of the best free agent wide receivers on the market. We all thought Lynch was gonna sit back. Nah, Lynch, he over there cooking up a little something, something. I think bringing back Dre was real big too. Hopefully he can stay healthy. That's another. We know how that veteran is in the locker room, but at the same time, we know Dre is like the heartbeat of the Niners. We know Fred is the guru. Fred is the leader, but Dre is that right there in your chest. Hopefully he can stay on the field. But yeah, I think that was another area that we had to address. And it's still free agents out there. Like I don't think we done. I think we're gonna try to get in some last minute guys and before we head into this draft. I think we're not done yet.
I hope you're right. How you feeling, Brian?
Yeah, I'm really hyped. After last year, we watched basically half our squad walk, and we were talking about rebuilding yet not rebuilding, and I think basically what the boys were able to accomplish, and kudos to Shanahan, but with we'll just say limited talent. I think is kind of re-inspired and reinvigorated the front office to say, hey, you know what? Maybe we're a little closer than we thought. Brock Purdy coming back from the turf toe. I don't care what anybody else says. Call me a Niner homer. He's a top 10 quarterback. And if you give him weapons and you give him time, he will shred any defense. He's proven that, but you have to give him time. And to me, the biggest thing that needed to happen, I know everybody was saying offensive line, defensive line, I mean, a wide receiver and defensive line. Uh, you know, I'm still squarely looking at offensive line. I do like the Robert Jones signing, but remember, this guy missed all of 2025 with a neck injury. So I don't want to count on that. Connor Colby, yeah, he was okay in 6 games last year, but once again, I don't want to count on that. But the two guys that basically anchored that in Ben Barch and Burford last year at left guard are basically gone. So I would really like to see whether it's free agency, like a dude like Joel Bitonio, Zeitler, Kevin Zeitler, or maybe even a guy in the draft. I would really like to see. I think we all understand Trent's got 1 or 2 years left. Kittle's getting up there in age. Like, let's fortify this offensive line. But I can't give the Niners too much credit for Mike Evans because let's be honest, Mike Evans could have made more money elsewhere. He chose the Niners. He wanted to come here. He saw what Kyle's able to do. He saw, you know what? I actually want to work with a top 10 quarterback. Yeah, I'm talking about Brock Purdy. I want that guy as my quarterback. And, George Kittle selling Mike Evans on the Niners. I'm not sure if you guys heard about that, but, George Kittle said in a podcast that Mike called him and said, hey, sell me on the Niners. And he said, dude, organization's top notch, and he ended up coming here over taking more money with his own team in Tampa Bay. And I think that says a lot about the culture, about the players, about how the Niners take care of quote unquote their guys. But we've done a lot of really good things. But as you and LG said, it's not finished yet. There's still room for improvement. But I got to tell you guys, as much as I love Evans, as much as I love Dre, Odigizua is the guy that's going to make the difference.
Oh yeah.
Having a pass rush in the middle, the one thing that we lacked, even when Huff would get around the corner, there was no collapsing of the pocket in the middle of that field. And fun fact for for Dallas Cowboy fans that maybe want to be upset, if you go back and look last year, not Kenny Clark, not Quentin Williams, it was the Diggy Zua that was the top-rated defensive tackle for Dallas. He had more hurries, boys, at defensive tackle by himself than all the defensive tackles combined for San Francisco last year. He had 52 by himself. San Francisco's defensive tackles, all of them combined, had 51. We're going to see a major, major difference in this defensive line, especially if Mikael Williams and Bosa can stay healthy.
Yeah. Hey, Brian, I'll say this, dude. For me, I want to see what this offense looks like now that we have Mike Evans. When has Mike Evans ever been a third target in an offense? Never. So you got to think about it. Okay, Kittle's hurt right now, but Kittle's going to be back at some point. What is your defense going to first focus on? Where is CMC? Where is he lining up at? Where is he at? And what you going to go to next? Where's Kittle? Mike Evans is going to have a field day. And my thing is, have y'all not paid attention to some of the tea leaves? Juwan Jennings is still sitting out there.
Yeah.
Juwan Jennings, the tag, the price that he wanted is not what he's being offered. And he might end up being back in the fold too, which is giving Brock another weapon. I would love to see if he came back. I would love to see.
I don't think
What's the
Juwan's coming back.
price? LG, what's the price? If he says, okay, give me 12, are we giving him 12?
I think he was at 20. We could figure out a way to get him for 15.
Yeah, see, I think 15's too much, man. Listen, we already got Kirk, who's going to play your slot and be your return guy. That's why I told you guys I'm not as down on him as you, and I'm hoping we have some time to talk about him later because I'm going to sell you guys on Kirk. Then you got Ricky Pearsall on the outside. Imagine as good as Pearsall was. Remember last year, the first 3 games when everybody was like, "Oh cow, this guy is a different player." Imagine him. You're talking about Mike Evans being a third option. Imagine Pearsall not having to be the number 1 wide receiver, not having to draw, multiple coverage going his direction, being able to actually play 1v1. And one other thing that's really interesting, even Mike Evans at his advanced age, if you look at his separation numbers and his numbers versus contested catches, he's still outstanding. Outstanding. He's going to be such a red zone threat for the Niners. And I honestly think he's going to make a huge difference in this Niners offense. Just being able to help the other younger guys, to really understand what it means to be a pro. Think about how young our wide receiver room is with Jordan Watkins, with Ricky Pearsall. These guys are young dudes. And yeah, you had Juwan Jennings in there, but you're talking about bringing in a Hall of Famer. And you know what? The one thing you can say about Mike Evans, if nothing else, he's a consummate pro. He is a pro's pro, and he does everything by the book. I think the Niners hit a home run, and I'm so glad he decided to come to Niner Nation.
I just think Kirk and Pearsall, the injuries is what kind of it gets me, and we got to have a contingency plan. And we all know how Kyle is. When Kyle get in the kitchen, he cooking up. It's targets for everybody. The one thing I love about this offense is if you notice when he gets cooking, Kittle don't care. Kittle's one of the most unsung superstars. He don't care if he getting 5 targets, 10 targets, 1 target. The guy will go out there and block. And you know who's just like him? Tunges. Tunges don't care if he getting 2 targets, 5 targets, 1 touchdown, 1 catch for a touchdown. The guy is coming on, and I think that when you add him to the fold, yeah, that offense is gonna be looking really, really good next year.
What's your thoughts, man?
We got to acknowledge the fact that A, Mike Evans' production has went down every year. B, Mike Evans barely played last year. See, and my biggest issue with this whole conversation is outside of a Diggy Zua, the 49ers did not go out and get one player that does not have an injury history. They're acting as if we don't have the biggest injury bug in the league.
We do.
The offense is old. It's old. Mike Evans is about to be 33. Mike Evans, to me, Mike Evans is worth it simply because the deal was we got we got a Hall of Famer for basically nothing in NFL terms. Mike Evans, though, to me, is legitimately a red zone threat, and I pretty much think that's going to be it. I don't think Mike Evans sniffs 1,000 yards. I think Mike Evans to us is going to be what Devontae Adams was to the Rams. Red zone threat, get you 10 to 12. If Mike Evans can get us 10 to 12 touchdowns, we've got that. He's earned every dollar that the 49ers gave him. The offensive line. Go ahead.
I'm just going to say I totally disagree with you, man. When you look at the injury, soft tissue injury, I think Mike Evans comes back. He's had 1,000 yards every single year up until this last year, where he only played in 4 games. So I actually think he goes for 1,000 yards because Shanahan is the master of creating space for his wide receivers. And if you look at the offense he came in, he came from an offense where he had to create his own space. Now he's going to an offense where the offensive quote unquote genius actually helps to provide separation. A big body like that running those in routes, being able to catch the ball on the move because Brock Purdy actually puts it in front of you, not behind you like Baker Mayfield. I'm telling you, man, Mike Evans is going to surprise some Niners. He's going to go for over 1,000 and he's going to have 10 plus touchdowns.
I hope
Telling
you're
you.
right. I hope you're right. And I'm praying that you're right. But the 1,000 yards every year, yeah. This past year he didn't. But the year before last, when he broke Jerry Rice's record, he got 1,000 yards because they forced him to get 1,000 yards.
But he also missed like 5 games that year too. He did in 12 games.
Okay, so he missed 5 games
1,000
the year
yards in
before
12
last.
games.
Okay, so he missed 5 games 2 years ago. He missed half the season this past year.
Mm-hmm.
That's my concern.
Oh, I get it, bro. I get it.
Yeah, we're signing players that like Ronald Jones.
So who's your favorite signing? Who's your favorite signing?
For the price, Mike Evans. But Odiggy Zua is literally the only move we made that I'm looking at like, all right, not only will he be here next year, he's a future piece who doesn't miss games. The best D tackle we've had at rushing the passer since DeForest Buckner left. And I take that back. I said Mike Evans is my favorite signing. I'm a 49er till I die. Dre Greenlaw is my favorite.
Yeah, there you go. There you
go. Dre Greenlaw.
I was gonna say
if he
stays healthy, Dre Greenlaw is gonna production is gonna outweigh that $6 million contract that he got.
Yes.
And if you think about all the young guys, right? Nick Martin flies around the field. You give them a guy like that, an enforcer that they can kind of look up to a little bit. You bring back, I don't think Winters is going to be here after this year, boys. This is his last year. But even if he is, he can learn a lot from a guy like Dre Greenlaw. They brought back Wallow again. They brought back Gifford, which I don't understand why, but they brought these guys back. They can all learn. And you know what? Allow Gifford to be a special team guy. I don't ever want to see that dude on the strong side again.
Yes.
Ever.
No, facts.
No, the thing for me too is we all saw it. Dre was a free agent. What, 5 minutes, maybe 3?
Yeah,
maybe 3. We knew he was coming back.
Yeah,
and
I think Fred made that call.
Yeah, and I think that honestly, our biggest free agent pickup, because we're talking about guys that we've signed from other teams. You know what our biggest free agent was? The fact that we drafted so many rookies on that defense that got playing time. That's gonna be our biggest free agent. Like we talk about getting.
Will it be our biggest? Will that be the biggest thing to happen? Because Robert Saleh drafted those guys.
No. Because look, and I get it. Saleh being gone is big, but Alfred Collins actually played pretty good to me last year.
No. I love Collins. I love the other linemen.
If you look at Williams before he got hurt, he was coming on. He was coming on.
Boys, what is the Niners two biggest areas of weakness on the defense right now? If you had to just quick thought, Niners' two biggest weakness, go.
Pass rush safety.
Okay, pass rush safety. Raheem Morris, what is he best known for?
DBs.
Pass rush safety.
Pass rush.
Last
Yeah.
year, he took James Pierce, traded back into the first round, and grabbed. I mean, now I'm not gonna speak on whether or not he's a great person, human being, but the production is the production.
Yep.
Yep.
Double digit sacks. Then they got Javon Walker, who's another guy, undersized, who had major production. Then you look, they come back in the later rounds and get Watts and Bowman, both safeties. And Watts was like running for defensive player of the year or rookie of the year for a while. I want to say he ended up with 6 or 7 sacks as the center filter for Atlanta. So I only bring this up to say, you know what? I understand everybody's concern over Salah leaving, but remember the one thing that Raheem Morris is good at is identifying talent at pass rush, and he knows what he wants, and safety. And I think what we need is very specific, and we're going to get into this obviously more at the draft. We don't need another Mikael Williams. I don't want to see them draft TJ Parker. I don't want to see them draft Keldrick Falk. I don't want to see them drafting these dudes that are 6'6", 265 and have 3 sacks on the year. We don't need another run stuffer. Grab that 260 or 250 pound guy, 245 pound guy that can bend and get around the edge and get double digit sacks. So you can put him out there for the NASCAR package on third downs, kick Mikael Williams inside. That's what you need. That's what we're paying for is sacks. And we need somebody who can patrol the deep middle. That's what I'm looking for. And I think Raheem Morris, believe it or not, boys, is going to be able to do that for us.
I hope so. And we'll get into my pipe dream for that other edge rusher as the show goes on.
I mean, dude, like I say, Mikael Williams was coming on for me.
He's not a pass rusher though.
He's not a pass rusher, man. Look, you know
He
what
don't
though?
have that in
Look,
his game yet.
LG, PFF stats, right? I know you
Yeah.
could take or leave them, but boys, it's at least something worth measuring. If you look at Niners defense when Mikael Williams was in the field, this is even some of the games without Bosa. They were number 6 against the run, yards per carry. He leaves, they're 26th. The boy can set the edge and play the run for sure. But on that third down, where he's going to help create a mismatch, is right there next to Odigizua inside where he's quicker than the guards. So we have to have a guy that we can bring in on second and long, third and long that can get after people and get us double digit sacks. So that our DBs that once looked like great players like Lenore and Green actually have a chance to make a play on the ball because the quarterback's not sitting back there for 8 seconds.
Let me ask
See,
you a question. Let me ask you a question real quick, both of y'all, because we're still in the free agency. There's talk of Jimmy Ward. How y'all feel about that?
I think he's a little too long in the tooth. I would want to see if they could bring Brown back around because I saw a lot of promise in Brown. I just think that he kind of got lost a little bit, especially him and he played in solid system again. I want to see what we can get out of Brown. I definitely would want to see if we could get. I don't know if we still got him Mustafa. I would definitely want to see.
He's the starter.
Yeah, I definitely want to see what we would get out of Mustafa, and then we'll go from there.
I'm with you on Mustafa. I want to see the kid Siegel. I want to see if Raheem can get something out of Siegel. Siegel got talent. Siegel can play. I feel like coverage wise, he was probably the best safety we had last year.
Yeah,
so I want to see what we can get out of him.
I can see that, and we could always go to different packages because people quick to talk about the Niners and they secondary this. It's talent there. Green is talent. What's the guy we drafted second round last year? The other corner, I forgot his name.
You got Bernardo Green. You got Demo out there. You got who did they have?
Lenore is gonna be on that corner. I can't remember the other guy we drafted last year.
Oh, you're talking about in the third round? You're talking about the Upton Stout.
Upton Stout. Yeah, so we could run out a bunch of different packages because there's talent in that secondary.
Well, the one you just mentioned is to me, and I'm gonna get some flack for this, but he's highly overrated, and that's Demo. He talks a lot. He's a slot corner. Put that man back in the slot. He is not a number one corner.
I hate to agree with you. I kind of feel like we overpaid. I like the moxie. I like the way the swag he carried because I feel like at the corner you have to feel like you're a number one guy. But I'm with you. I think he's best in the slot. And the problem is when you draft a 5'8" corner like Upton Stout, which dude is feisty as hell. But
Yes.
when you draft a 5'8" corner, you really can't put him on the outside when you're going up against guys that are 6'4", 6'5" in the division, right? Like you can't put him one on one with Devontae Adams. Like you just can't. Like remember when we played Atlanta and they run Drake London out of the slot a lot. Like it literally caused the Niners to implode. They were like, well, what do we do now? Like I kind of feel like I almost feel like that's why they brought in Eli Hobbs because
Yeah.
Eli Hobbs is a nickel corner. And I think that they realized, like, hey, in these certain situations, like, listen, I love Upton Stout. Like, I would probably even say on record of all the draft picks last year, including Mikael Williams, he was the most productive rookie and he was the best right out the gate. Like, he's a
Oh
great
yeah,
corner, good run stuffer. But the problem is when you're 5'8", you have limitations, right?
Yeah.
Physically.
Yeah.
So we have to acknowledge and recognize that but the guy I was hoping we'd get in free agency was Kobe Bryant. I I just the
Oh
way
yeah.
he patrols the field, he comes from that Seattle system, knows the division. But I also didn't think listen, we're not going to pay somebody $18 million a year. So at that point, so sad, too bad. But I think there's guys in the draft we could potentially get, and there's guys in elsewhere. But I like how it started, and the fact that we still have guys like Cam Jordan, that Joey Bosa, even I'm sure you guys heard the Espinoza, the Bills thing with Esperanza.
yeah,
His deal
Yeah.
fell
Hey.
through. Yeah,
Yep.
his
Yep.
deal fell through. So it's like there is still edge rushers out there that if we wanted to say, hey, you know what, let's pick up one more guy, right? Like let's do a 1 year $6 million deal, or 1 year $8 million deal, or 1 year $10 million deal. We could, right? It's just
I
a
feel
matter of what we want to do.
I feel like they made it very clear the past 2 days that they don't want Joey Bosa because they have
Well,
come out and they've come out and said we can't afford Bosa, and that's
well,
a lie.
Bosa has come out and said, if you look at his social media and you look at interviews, he's not giving a discount. And remember, he led the league last year in forced fumbles, right? So
Nobody's gonna pay Bosa. Nobody's gonna pay Bosa 15 million. He can be
what
had for 10 to 12.
he wants 20 a year, and he
Oh, I
wants a
know what he
multi-year
wants.
contract.
oh
He
Yeah,
ain't
yeah,
so
getting
I'm
bro.
that.
just saying, right, he's not getting that, but you have to understand that just like with us, right? Like, I think I'm worth $80 an hour and you think I'm worth 40. It's going to take time, right, for me to realize, hey, maybe Corey's actually right. So that's what's going on with Jawan Jennings right now. Jawan Jennings
Yeah.
thought he was worth 25 a year, and right now he's starting to realize like maybe the Niners are right. Maybe I'm more a 10 or $12 million guy. So that's what you got to do with these pass rushers, because the reality is we don't need two or three of them. We need one of them, and maybe not even one. Because if you think about it, we got five guys right now on the roster that are ready to rock and roll. We're probably going to draft one, and if you look at how many we went into the year with last year, it was six. So it's like you got to be honest with yourself about the numbers. The only way you bring an extra guy in right now, in my opinion, is if they're a difference maker, or if you're not sure that Bosa or Mikel is going to be back for the start of the year.
So I was
I would
going to
actually
ask
love to see Cam Jordan. I would love to see Cam Jordan. I mean, he's up in the two, but he's still productive, dude. And like
Thought I had 10 sacks.
me, I think honestly, he's one of the dudes that would probably take a little bit of a discount. Think about he's been playing in a bigatory in New Orleans for how long?
and I don't think he's going to
So
leave.
I think he would leave for the opportunity to actually play in the playoffs, have a meaningful shot at winning a Super Bowl. I think he would leave.
That
Um,
division's
but
garbage, though. Everybody in that division has a chance.
a chance to make the playoffs, a chance to hey, look,
I
and
mean,
look, I'm gonna put it like this: when was the last time New Orleans made the playoffs in that bad division?
yeah, but you got
Yeah,
a chance.
yeah, but I would if you somebody who how these vets are when they get up in age, they want to win that Super Bowl or win that second Super Bowl or something like that. And I think that he would probably be the one guy that would be like, you know what, I wanted 12, I'll take 8 on a playoff team. I think he's the one guy that would be willing to take a little bit of a pay cut for a genuine shot at getting to a Super Bowl.
Okay, real question for you since you said what you just said. Diehard 49er fans, that's what we are. Do you honestly feel like this team has a shot at the Super Bowl this year?
I mean, the thing about the NFC is the NFC is always going to be wide open. If you think about last year, dude, we was literally one game from being the number one seed. One game.
Yeah, but we had the worst schedule in football. We don't have that this year.
Yeah, but I'm saying if you think about it,
Yeah.
one game away from being the number one seed and having playoffs throughout, we weren't that far off. Uh, and considering the injuries, I don't think that being a realistic 49er fan, I don't think that window is that far off
Yeah.
considering what we accomplished last year. Like I said, a lot of rookies got a lot of valuable playing time. We've seen these teams over and over again that go through these stretches where they had to play a lot of guys that they didn't plan on playing, and the next year we see a big improvement in those players because they did get that playing time.
But
Can
we
I?
do have a lot. We have a lot of young players that played a lot. But out of those players that played a lot, how many of them do Raheem Morris want? How many of them is he going to
Uh,
actually
I
trust?
mean,
Like that's what we don't know. That's what I meant by solid drafted those players earlier. We don't know who Morris is going to want, who he's going to want on the field. He likes tall corners. Upton Stout was our best corner. He 5'8".
I mean, Ronaldo Green is what, like 6 foot. I mean, so we don't know. Ronaldo may
Yeah.
start thriving. I actually thought he was going to take over and be the top corner at some
L,
point. Just
LG,
looking at,
LG, LG, behind the
hey,
curtain, bro. Hold on,
look,
behind the curtains. Me and you both. Me and you both. You see that sign over there? We both Florida State fans.
yeah, we are.
Ronaldo Green ain't the answer, brother.
No, but I said I saw the potential in him, and I thought he was going to make that next jump. Now, did that
He's
happen? No,
so
but
there's a couple things going on here. First thing is I'm going to disagree with you, and I know you guys are Florida State fans. I think Renardo Green could be a number one corner. The problem is he's not a number one corner if you're not playing press man, right?
Yes.
He's a
Yep.
press man corner. So if you're going to play him in zone like we did most of the time last year, yeah, he's probably not your guy. But I firmly believe if you look at all the reports last year and the fact that Renardo Green got benched in the playoff game and the fact that he's still here and they're now talking him up, I firmly believe that that is an indictment that Raheem Morris said, no, 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 I want him. I'm going to keep him. Because remember, the one thing about Raheem Morris, he's a chameleon, right? He came into Brandon Staley's defense in for the Rams, took over for them a 3-4 defense and ran that. We know he's ran a 5-2 before. We know he's ran a 4-3 defense. He knows how to run all those defenses. He is a guy that puts pressure above everything else. So if you look at the one thing like everybody talks about, oh, you know what? He's his defense is always ranked like towards the middle of the pack, right? And some of that is true, but a lot of that's because if you look at the sack numbers that his defenses create, he creates a lot of negative plays. His teams are always in the top five in sacks. And when you're selling out to get sacks and you're basically playing man coverage, you're going to give up some big plays. Like it's going to happen. But when you have guys like Renardo Green that you feel like, hey, I can trust this guy on the back end to play man to man for 2.5, 3 seconds, you can do that kind of stuff. If you don't have those kind of guys, you do what Robert Sala did. Because remember, he's not a dummy. He knew he was coaching for his next job. He knew that as much as he appreciated the Niners, he was playing to make sure that the defense looked somewhat legitimate so that it didn't, that he could explain it, if you will, to the next team. He didn't blitz. If you look at the blitz percentage, it went down week after week after week. And I'm sure you guys know as well as I did, as bad as we looked in that final week against Seattle, how do you go into that next playoff game against Seattle and barely blitz at all? Like you gotta blitz Darnold. You
speed
cannot
him
let
up,
him just
speed
sit.
him up,
Yeah, you cannot
speed
let
him
him
up.
just sit back there and just take all the time he wants. So all I'm gonna say is with Raheem Morris, I think Renardo Green absolutely could shine because that's more of a system tailored to his skill set.
I agree with that. Well, let me pick y'all's brains on this, and this will go into the next thing I want to touch on. But it's all connected to free agency. Trent Williams hold out and them restructuring Nick Bosa's contract. How we feel about that, Brian?
Well, I mean, so two things. So let's start with Nick Bosa because I think that that's important to talk about. So you free up money now and give the player additional years in order to have that cap flexibility. Now, my understanding is they freed up about $16 million, right? So could they go into the season with Trent Williams making what he is now? Of course, they have that room. He's already in the cap. But what it does is it allows them not only remember one of the things the Niners do more than any team is the Niners like to roll over cap because when you roll over cap, you have additional space the following year, the next year. So like if we just for those at home that maybe don't know this, if your cap the ceiling is 200 million and you have 170 million worth of cap. So I have 30 million left over. At the end of the year, if the next year I still have 170, I actually have 60 million in cap space because I'm rolling that cap over from the previous year, the unused cap. That's part of the players agreement. The player association, what they've bargained is, hey, we have a salary cap in this league that not every league does. So we want to make sure you're utilizing that cap. Like you can't just sit on 60 million and just save money as owners and just put and not pay anything. So I say that to say they're freeing up cap. It could be for a trade deadline move. It could be for a big, defensive end that looks real good right now in orange and brown. It could be for a lot of reasons, right? But what financial flexibility does for you is it allows you to make a draft day move if you want for a veteran player, right? On a team that maybe isn't in it and they're like, hey, does it really make sense to have this $20 million defensive end, if we're rebuilding? So the flexibility is great. I think that they're gonna figure out the Trent Williams situation. I think the biggest hurdle is we've never in the history of the NFL seen an offensive tackle playing at 38 years old that's still considered a top five at his position. PFF grade last year, he was the number two ranked run blocking tackle and the number five ranked offensive tackle pass blocking. You're talking about a top five offensive tackle that's 38. Can't really extend him out 3 years, right? So that's part of the problem. The other issue is you owe him $40 million, but none of that money is guaranteed.
Yep.
None of it. So Trent has no, there is no incentive for Trent to negotiate because none of that money right now is guaranteed. So I think what you're going to see is you're going to see that number come down a bit to something more reasonable, like maybe 30 or 28. But he's going to get an extra year, and it's probably going to end up being fully guaranteed, something similar to what you've seen like with Kirk Cousins.
LG, how you feeling?
Man, look, y'all already know how I feel, man. I think the Trent deal is done. They just working out the language, dude. I done went back and forth with people. I keep telling them, man,
Mhm.
Trent is Kyle's boy, and Kyle is Trent's boy. They boys. Like people forget when he was in Washington, and he was having the whole contract debate and all this other stuff. Trent had one team that he would play for,
It was
one
two.
team that he would be traded to.
It was two. The Rams was the other one. It was two.
Was it the Rams? Was
Yeah,
he
the
really
Rams was.
truly serious about the Rams? I don't
He
think he
said
was really truly.
he might not have been truly serious, but he
He
threw
didn't
it
say
out there.
he just said it on record plenty and plenty of times. He only wants to really play for Kyle. And I think that, like I said, they just work like Brian said, they working out the number, the guaranteed money, the
Mhm.
extended money. Hey, look, hey Trent, we'll give you some more guaranteed money if you help us lower this cap number. And that's all they just working out. At 38, yeah,
Yeah.
he trying to make sure he got some checks coming, into his 40s. And that's all he really. I think that's a done deal. The Bosa deal, I think them restructuring that money. Uh, at first, I thought maybe he did it, trying to get his brother in. Who would want to play with their brother? I thought maybe that was what it was. But honestly, I kind of agree with Brian. It's freeing up a little bit of extra money for hey, I'm gonna say we get into preseason, and we in preseason, it's like, okay, you need a quarterback. We got Mac. Hey, you got this disgruntled pass rusher. He's making 15. Can we bring him in and give you Mac? Maybe so. You never know.
I
I know
I
a guy
think
who's
Mac.
I
Hey,
know a guy
listen,
whose
boys.
cap number is only 9 million this year.
I'm gonna tell you guys right now, and this is gonna shock everybody, but I said this before, and everybody thought I was crazy. I said this when we were on the Tuesday show. I said there's no way they're gonna take less than a second for Mac, and everybody's like, "Oh, you're crazy," and I'm like,
I'm
"Well,
with
think
you.
about it. Listen, think about it. If we let this play out, we're gonna have the best backup in the entire league the rest of this year, and next year when he signs the contract, we're gonna get a conditional third anyways."
Yep.
Yeah.
So wait, you want me to give him to you for a third when I could get a third next year anyways and keep him all year and have that security when Brock Purdy hasn't played 17 games each of the last 2 years? No thanks.
And we
So
all
when
know Kyle
everybody,
loves thirds.
yeah,
We all know Lynch loves thirds.
right. But when it came out and it said the Niners are looking for an exorbitant price, I think they're going for a first. I think they
That's what I
said,
would
hey,
go for.
if you want Mac first. And I still, even though it's died down, don't be surprised. Draft day trades, people are gonna want to, and we're gonna talk about it more when we get into the draft. But even like Ty Simpson, he's starting to get a little buzz again, right? Like the wheels are starting to churn. You got a second quarterback. We're picking at 27. What's the one thing we talk about this all the time? LG, I talk about this all the time. Why are you going to trade back into the first round for a quarterback? Because you get that fifth year. You get
Yep.
that
Yep.
fifth year. And this dude, Ty Simpson, is a good quarterback, but he is going to be that guy that needs an extra year of development, right?
Yep.
He's played 15 total games. So the Niners are in a really good spot. If they want to potentially trade, I mean, way up, maybe top 15, top 12, maybe Mac in their 27 to move up, right? Or if they decide to move back a little bit and potentially allow somebody to come up to get Ty Simpson, like there's a lot of flexibility there. And what the cap does is, like I said, if you want to trade a player for a player or something like that, it allows it to where you have the room and capability of making those moves.
I
Yeah,
don't. I
I
don't. I
honestly
don't. I
think that if
don't.
you no, I think that if it was one of these quote unquote premier edge rushers,
Mhm.
you could have Mac. I mean, you might have to throw in like a fourth or fifth or something, but I think that you could have Mac and LeBron. Like you said, I think there's going to probably be a team that, like you said, they drafted a developmental quarterback and was like, you know what? Hey, I think that we could work out a deal, and
Yeah.
we need Mac. Hey, I know Sirius is listening, but hey, look, somebody in
You
Pittsburgh
already,
might
you
end up
already
needing a
know.
quarterback. Somebody
You
in
already
Pittsburgh,
know, man.
they
Pittsburgh needs it. Listen,
they might need a
the
quarterback.
NFL stands for not for long. All these
Yep.
people are like, oh, no, no, we're going to wait till 2027 to draft quarterback. You guys know that 9 people a year get fired as head coaches. You want to be one of them? Then
Yep.
wait till next year. Wait till
Yep.
next year. Try to explain that to your shareholders. Oh, we're waiting until next year to be good. You know what? We're going to go for another 4-12 season, 4-13 season. Especially when you have playoff aspirations. You're a team like the Steelers. You made the playoffs last year. We know Rodgers wants to sit out, but it's like even if Rodgers wants to come back, you want to pay $30 million when you could have Mac cheaper, $5 million better, and you could potentially sign him long term. He's already proven he's good in cold weather. I mean,
Hey, look,
to me, it's a no brainer.
we saw
But
what
I don't.
we saw what happened with Daniel Jones. Hey, he got what 40 million, like 50 million a
yeah,
year.
that's what I'm saying.
Y'all gonna
Hey,
y'all gonna
yeah,
call me crazy on this. I don't. I don't let Matt go unless it's a first, because like you said, Brian, Purdy don't play 17 games, and are we sure? Because what most fans don't realize is there's outs in Brock Purdy's contract after this year. Before it
Hmm.
starts to get, are we sure that Brock Purdy is better than Mac Jones at the price range that Brock Purdy is at? If you can
I
have
think
Mac
Brock.
for 20, but you got Brock for 50, but you can have Mac for 20. Is Brock that much better than Mac Jones?
The problem is you're not going to get Mac Jones for 20. Like LG said, once Daniel Jones signed for 40, listen, if you look at what Mac has done, the body of work, and like let's not take away, I mean, listen, we're not stupid here. Let's not forget the fact that Mac was a Pro Bowler in New England, and everybody wants
Yep.
to just discount the fact that they decided to give him a defensive coordinator as his offensive coordinator, and all of a sudden that was him being a bad quarterback. You make Matt Patricia his offensive coordinator, all of a sudden the offense doesn't work because Josh McDaniels isn't there, and apparently he's a bad quarterback. Because even in Jacksonville, he was a pretty good quarterback when given an opportunity. Like I said, I think the issue, like the real issue when you're really looking at it, is Brock Purdy. It's the mobility factor. The one thing with Mac Jones, if you let
Exactly.
pressure in his face, he cannot get away. I love him, I really do. He's tough as hell, and he's that guy. He's the Kurt Schilling of football, right? Like he's the guy that will be out there, his shirt bloody and tattered, and he's still slinging, and he's gonna pick up the spirits of the boys. But the reality is Brock Purdy is a top 10 quarterback for a reason. He's a very fast processor. He brings the offense to a different level. I mean, the offense operated at a different level. And the reality is when Mac Jones signs his next contract, even if he doesn't play it down this year, I'm telling you, it's going to be like 3 or 4 years at like 45. And if you're telling me, hey, would you rather have Mac Jones 3 years at 45 or Brock Purdy for 4 at 53? I'd rather have Brock Purdy.
I'm with you on that. I would take if it's that close in price. Yeah, you're right. I would
Yeah,
take Brock.
Daniel Jones done messed up the market,
Yeah.
man. Like he
Because you
didn't
got to
mess up the market
remember,
for real.
yeah, you got to remember that the cap is also going to continue to go up, right?
Yeah.
So like the longer we wait, right? It's like, oh well, like he said, well, Daniel Jones just got 40. Oh, well, Tua got 53. Like these
Yeah.
guys are jacking up the QB prices. So what's going to happen is the next guy that gets paid, they're going to expect to get paid starter type money,
Yeah. And
right?
I
Well,
can tell you right
that's
now, if Brock hit free, I mean, if Mac Jones hit free agency, considering what people have seen, what happened with Sam
Oh
Darnold,
God.
seen with all these other quarterbacks that came through Kyle's system have done. I'm being real. Somebody's gonna be like, you know what, Mac, we're gonna throw some absorbent number at him because they're gonna take the chance that he's gonna turn into the next Sam Darnold.
black and
And
yellow.
Listen,
that's
the
what's gonna
biggest
end up happening.
listen, the biggest thing is how many times, like not to poke the bear here, but how many times do teams draft guys like Kenny Pickett? It's so easy. It's so easy to say like, oh, we're gonna wait till next year. Yeah, and you're gonna what? You're gonna draft a guy and hope that he becomes good. Like, remember we drafted a guy named Trey Lance. That literally, if not for Brock Purdy, our franchise would literally be in purgatory right now. We
I
gave
ain't gonna
up
say that because
three first round picks.
Trey was starting to show what Trey was drafted for
Trey
before he
was
got
never
hurt.
worth 3 first round picks, brother.
No, I'm not
Never.
saying he was worth the
The
three, but
issue,
I'm just
the
saying
issue, the issue, the issue with that 3 first-round picks that most people don't talk about, that was the Deshaun Watson deal. And then Deshaun got in trouble.
Yeah.
And
Well,
Kyle
and
came.
listen, the bigger issue with that, and I think Kyle always likes to prove that he's the smartest guy in the room, is that they allowed the personnel department to make the decision. Kyle always wanted Mac Jones. Mac Jones went 3 picks after our original pick to New England. And the reality is if we would have spent 1 first on Mac Jones, we would have been a whole lot better off than if we would have spent 3 first round picks on Trey Lance. Plain and simple.
That's a fact. And he traded when he made that trade, he was going to take Mac. And then the fans
Yeah,
shamed him. They
that's what I'm
shamed him
saying.
and not take. Yeah, they shamed him. But all right, well, let me get back to the original question though. Bosa, Trent Williams. On
What's your thought,
Bosa,
Corey?
yeah, on Bosa, I don't like restructuring. Yeah, it opened up cap space, and that's good for now. But it just kicked the can down the road. Eventually, we're gonna have to pay Bosa, and by the time we pay the bill on Bosa, I don't feel he's gonna be on this team no more. The kid can't stay healthy. It's every other year something happens to him. He's torn his ACL 2 or 3 times going back to
Three
high school.
times. Three
You
times.
can't trust him to be healthy. And
Same
if
knee.
you're telling me we're putting all the chips into the middle and we're going for a Super Bowl this year, then I would say do what you got to do. Be like the Rams. Do what you got to do.
Right.
F the cap, F the picks, go win the Super Bowl, and all is forgiven. The problem
Right.
is they're playing around. They want to rebuild, halfway want to go for it. The offense is the oldest in the league. The defense is damn near the youngest in the league now.
Yeah.
It's like
Third
they don't.
youngest.
They're contradicting what they want to do. I want us to go for it
that's
because
why I
we've
think in
been.
this draft we're gonna go real young on offense.
They're not. Kyle do not play rookies on offense. He's made it
Well,
clear.
it
He's
Uh,
not
depends.
playing you.
It
Lineman.
depends. Yeah, I was gonna say
Yeah.
it depends on what they draft. I think the only positions you would see them play guys early is running backs that can block. Like I really like Price in round two. And listen, you heard at the owners meeting them talking about, hey, we got to reduce the workload on Christian McCaffrey and we got to make sure things are more balanced. And we all know
Don't
Garindo's
we?
not the guy.
Don't we got the
I
kid
would
from
love to see
Oregon?
Grindo get healthy.
James, no, listen,
Oh,
I like James from Oregon from last year, but he's not on the same level as that kid from Notre Dame, Price. And Price is an electric return guy. If you go and put on some tape, Christian Kirk is the guy who can return, but as we've already talked about, and I'm going to talk to you guys more about hopefully later, Kirk is good, but when you have a guy that's a part of your offense that already shows an injury history, the last thing you want him doing is back there returning kicks. I would have liked to seen us re-sign Sky Moore just because he was sure-handed, and I'm one of those guys. Call it what you want. I don't need explosive plays on special teams. I'm more of a just don't f it up, man. I watched Kyle Williams, 10 years ago, and ever since then, I'm just like, please just don't f it up. So at this point, um, getting a competent return guy back there is priority number one because we all know, even though he said he could do it, Jacob Cowan can't do it,
Yeah.
cannot do it. Right? I don't want to see him back there, and I don't want to see Christian Kirk back there because he's already old and broke down. So if we can get a guy like Price back there, if you can get a guy, like a Casey Concepcion, if you can get one of these guys that are actually an accomplished return guy that also feels like a need, that would be the ticket, and that would be the type of guy that could potentially contribute right away.
and let me ask you something since you brought up and we was talking about him because of his speed, dude. I don't know. I'm a Garindo fan. Would y'all want to see Garindo back there returning some kicks?
I love Gorindo, but they have shown time and time again, Larry, that they do not trust Gorindo.
They don't
They
trust him.
if it was Gorindo and James, the rookie from last year, I mean, well, they've already proven that because in the playoff games they let James get in the game, not Gorindo. They're not going to play him. They've already proven that they don't. I
Well, I
think at
mean,
the
as a
very
return
least
guy,
on passing downs. No, I think he's an asset in the passing game. I
that
would
too.
line him
Yeah,
up in the Kyle Juszczyk role, right? Save Juszczyk maybe some snaps here and there. I think he would be an asset out of the backfield. I mean, remember that catch that he made where he was looking over his left shoulder and had to then like look back over the right shoulder? Like that is not something that's easy for a running back to do.
He
And the
used to be a
fact that he was
receiver.
able, that's what I'm saying. But the fact that he was able to make that catch over his shoulder like this, that's just not something all running backs can do. And like you said, we spent a pretty high pick on him, man. They need to give that dude an opportunity to try and fulfill that value for sure. I just know Kyle, and once he's kind of like out on somebody, he's already moved on.
Yep.
He's
yeah.
on to the
Like I
next
said, but
dude.
if you're not gonna give him a guy a shot at running back, we've seen how electric he can be when he's healthy. Put him at returner. At least let's see what we can get out of him. That speed alone, dude. I would not have a problem if they said, "Look, we're gonna put you in. You returning kickoffs, not so much punts. I would love to see him returning kickoffs because that's more of a
Yeah,
running back specialty now. You put a
yeah.
guy in that play running back, he can catch the ball, he can hit that hole, and with his speed, dude, I think that he would definitely shift the field for us if they were willing to put him at like kick return.
Like I said, the big issue for him is fumbles.
Yeah, I
If you
know.
remember
Yep.
with
Yeah, I know.
and so when you're talking about special teams, the likelihood of fumbles goes up like 100%.
Yep.
So like, do you envision a scenario where Kyle is going to put a guy that has known fumble issues back there returning kicks? That's
That's
the
the problem.
problem. Because it
That's the
doesn't
He
problem with
don't
matter if
trust
Coward.
we
him.
That's the problem
it
with
doesn't
Coward.
matter. It doesn't matter if Corey or you or I say, "Hey, you know what? We think that's a decent idea." The reality is, we know who is the final decision maker, and it's not Lynch. It's Kyle, and Kyle ain't having it. It's just not happening. You'd have to see like three injuries before Gorindo would get a shot at running back or returner. I'm just being honest.
Sucks.
LG, let me ask you this, and this is moving on to the next thing, but I'm gonna start with you because and I feel like I know where you're gonna go because we've already hit on all of it. First round of the draft, pick 27. What you think they should do? If you had to pick, if you had the card, what would you do? Position, player, whatever you want to go with.
Right now, I think the biggest thing is depending on which O lineman is out there. It's because we need another guard, and we definitely need to start looking at a Trent replacement. Um,
Yep.
Depending on who's out there, I think that we're gonna go tackle, guard, or if they're off the boards, I honestly think because we've been just stockpiling draft picks, we'll like you say, Brian, we'll make that trade. Hey, one of these quarterbacks is dangling out there, still sit on the board. We've seen guys move up for D tackles and stuff like that. Somebody's gonna move up, and I think we'll trade back because outside of uh, guard and tackle, we definitely need, I say, bring in another receiver, and this is a deep receiver draft. So moving back, we're fine. We'll still get another receiver, but I think if one of if a tackle falls or a guard falls, I think that's where we'll go.
Real quick before I get to Brian, Kyle Shanahan is the cockiest coach I've ever seen. Kyle Shanahan has addressed the O line in free agency. In his mind, he's not taking a lineman in the first round. In my opinion, Kyle's not taking a lineman. He can look us in the face and say, "Y'all asked for offensive line. I addressed it." I'm not. Kyle thinks he can get away with having a terrible offensive line, which is why the conversation of give Brock time and he'll carve you up makes me laugh because Brock will never have time because Kyle will never address the offensive line. If Trent Williams ain't there, we are the worst offensive line in football.
That's actually not that far off, dude. He's not wrong. You take Trent Williams off this line, and you're looking at a bunch of average to below average players. And the fact that we couldn't get any push in the running game, that's the reason why I agree with you, LG, as far as like we need a mauling guard. You put him next to Trent, and when we need a yard, you just go, dude, just run dive off, off the left side. Let's pick up that yard and keep the drive moving. We can't get a freaking how many times, boys, did we see in the red zone 3rd and 2, and we're doing play action because we can't get 2 yards to keep the drive going?
I actually like Pony though, and I'm wondering what
I
happened to
love
him. He
Pony.
played so
Hurt.
great.
He was hurt. He was hurt all
He was
last
hurt
year.
in the beginning. No, he was hurt in the beginning of the year. And if you look over the last 5 or 6 games, he picked it back up. But the Niners have a really bad habit of what I believe is rushing players back.
Yep.
And we know that there's a history there of this. A history. Raheem Mostert has come out and said that. Jimmy Ward has come out and said that. Trying to rush people back maybe before they're actually 100% ready to go. And I think that's what happened with Pooney because the reality was Pooney, even at 60%, was better than anybody else we had on the roster.
Yeah.
What do you think, Corey? Where are we going?
No. I need to know where you think we going. Where I think we going. I think Kyle's going. think Kyle's going to take a receiver. I think Kyle's going to piss us off. I think Kyle's going to piss half the fan base off, make the other half happy. I think Kyle's going with a receiver. And the reason I say piss off is because he's going to go with a receiver that he's not going to play because he don't play rookie receivers.
Right.
Yeah, so I think that's what he's going to do. But you're the draft guru. Where do you think we going? Give me a player.
Okay, so it's really hard because there's a few different positions, a few different ways we could go. I love LG's thought of bolstering the offensive line. I kind of feel like ever since we went Mike McGlinchey at number 9, like the Niners kind of had that sour face. And they're like, you know what? That didn't
He
work
was
out
actually
quite like they
solid though.
thought.
He was
No,
solid.
he was okay, but listen, come on, you know as well as I do. When you draft a tackle in the top 10,
Yeah.
you're not looking for solid, right? So I'm just saying,
Yep.
right? It's kind of like remember when we drafted Solomon Thomas at 3? It's like, oh, he's not bad. We drafted him at 3.
3.
You know
You know why? You know why that's even worse? Because Patrick Mahomes was in that draft, and we needed a quarterback.
Yes. So
That was a
what
bad
I
pick.
would say is this. I love the idea that LG had. There is so many good tackles that could potentially be there, right? Like Caden Proctor, like you're talking about a dude that is a 2-time Feldman Freaks list #1 prospect. And I don't know if you guys are familiar with that, But Feldman's freaks are so in college football. There's a guy. His name is Feldman. He's a sports writer, and he makes a list of the biggest freaks in the NCAA. And Proctor is the number one ranked prospect 2 years in a row, right? Last year, 2024 and 2025. He was back to back years as the number one prospect. You're talking about a kid coming out that was a top 10 overall prospect. He's always been the numero uno, if you will, 6'7", 360 pounds. He bench presses 535. His clean and jerk is 835. I mean, you're talking about Larry Allen type numbers, like ridiculous strength. He's also just to throw it out there because people are like, well, maybe he's not very athletic. Alabama, you can go and just type in Caden Proctor screen pass. They threw him a
Yeah.
screen pass. He caught the ball and literally stiff armed the DB that fell off his leg and rumbled down the field for like 7, 8, 9, 10 yards. And so, I mean, having somebody like that would be great, right? Max Nature, you're talking about a tackle that literally came from Nigeria that didn't start playing football until college. He was a community college from in Los Angeles, community college kid, started playing tackle and literally has progressed as far as he has in like 3 years. He played soccer and he played basketball. He would be a phenomenal pick. But
Let me
ultimately, Corey, like you said, when you think about what the Niners need and what marries to what they need and what's going to help them get become better, and I would love to see an offensive lineman here like Ione Vavega if he was there from Penn State, or Emmanuel Pregnon, who I think is phenomenal, who I think would be there. But I think that the absolute perfect pick is the safety Emmanuel McNeil Warren from Toledo,
okay.
right?
Okay.
So this kid has sideline to sideline speed. He's got the peanut punch 5 force fumbles. He's intercepted the ball and he's an enforcer on the back end. Let Malik Mustafa be the box safety that he is. He's the guy that's going to lay the lick, and Emmanuel McNeil Warren can be that high safety, the single high safety that the Niners have kind of quote unquote been looking for, even though Raheem Morris plays more of a two, a two shell. But McNeil Warren is a legit, real deal prospect. I actually like him a whole lot better than Dylan Thieneman, who ran a 4.33, and all of a sudden now everybody thinks he's going to be a top 15 prospect. So he would be phenomenal, and that's where I think the Niners are going to go. I think they're going to go with Emmanuel McNeil Warren. I really do. I think they're going to go safety because in the NFL, the biggest predictor of winning games nowadays is explosive plays. It used to be turnovers, but it's explosive plays. The team that has the most explosive plays in a game is typically the team that wins about 65% of the time. You limit those plays and you can win. And who are we in? Who's in our division? Even the Cardinals, right? You got Wilson and Harrison Jr. You got Devontae Adams and Puka Nakua. You got Jackson Smith and Jigba. You need to make sure that you're protecting that back end so people aren't getting behind you. And the one thing that we know is that we don't have a safety that can really roam and protect the back end. I like Jair Brown. He's not the guy. Siegel, he's got the speed. He doesn't quite have the peripherals, so that's where I would go. I would go with that because I think in round two, I think there's going to be 4 or 5 speed rushers, not guys that can set the edge, but speed rushers that'll be available there that you could get a real gem in round two.
Man,
Man,
shall
the
both
reason
get.
why
Man, hold on, LG,
go
LG,
ahead.
real quick, because I've seen somebody mock us in a couple of mock drafts who I don't think is going to be there. But if Sadiq from Oregon is there, what do y'all do?
Draft him, period.
Draft him.
Okay,
He's
I just wanted to make
he's
sure we
so
was on the
much
same page.
better. He is so much better. Listen, I redid my revised my rankings, and I believe I now have Sam Roush as my number 2 tight end. But he is so much better than the next best tight end because he actually blocks. You look at all
Yeah.
these guys that are ranked as the top 10, whether that's Justin Jolly, whether that's Eli Stowers, whether that's go down the list, right? Harridan, they don't block. Eli Stowers, for example, who's on number 2 on most lists, if you look at what Vandy, how they utilized him on running plays, He was only the inline tight end on 35% of the downs, meaning they brought in somebody else to come in to be that inline blocker because he's that bad at it. He's basically a glorified slot receiver. So the Niners don't need that. We have Jake Tonjes. If you're going to get a tight end, you need somebody that can block, that can potentially take Farrell's spot, that can eventually, can basically take over for George Kittle in a year or two, three, when George is no longer around. And I definitely think Sadiq is that guy, especially in this draft.
Dude, I honestly, bro, and I'm telling you, if he's there, we taking him. Like, but I think it's gonna be a tackle or a guard. And Brian, you hit on the head. The reason why I think it's gonna be a tackle or guard, think about who's in our division, dude. We got Seattle's line, we got the Rams line. Hey, Cardinals, they've been drafting some guys. They drafted that guy to what is it, Mississippi last year?
Arizona's not
Nolan.
terrible.
They
Arizona's
not,
not
yeah, they
terrible.
not terrible. So the way I get it, people feel like we must go defense, defense, defense. But you know how you keep Brock upright? Put somebody to block these pass rushers, because there's a lot of pass rushers in that division. It's not just in our division. It's a lot of pass rushers in that conference. So the way you get around that is you add more blockers, you add more effective blockers, and I think that's going to be the biggest thing. Like, think about it. Reason why I really want them to go guard, we got to play the Rams twice a year.
Yeah.
I mean, that Rams interior line is. Hey, I hate to give them their props like that. Yeah.
Murphy is a beast.
Young
Byron Murphy.
Yeah. They are a problem.
Young,
they are a
them
problem.
They're both
State
first round
boys.
picks. Yeah, they're both first round picks. One's from Texas, and like you said, the other one, Fisk, is from Florida State. But they're both. You're talking about top tier defensive tackles, probably, if not top 10, top 15 guys. And Murphy just is an absolute people mover. Then you talk about Leonard Williams. You talk about these other guys, and it's insurmountable. And I would even say this, Larry, as much as guard is a position, I don't know if we're going to actually commit to actually at least having a serious competition. I think they need to bring in a center, man. Jake Brendel is a turnstile. And you know what?
Terrible.
As much as I love PFF stats, they ranked him as the number 8 ranked offensive center last year. He gave up 55 pressures. I don't know how any center that gives up 55 pressures could be number 8 at anything other than 8 worst. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
He can't get 6 inches of push on a QB sneak. That's why Brock's got to wait a second to be like, okay, which way are they pushing him back? I'll go the other way. It's that bad. So, we're going to I'm sure get into it, but there's some really, really good centers that'll be available in the 4th round in this draft. And I'm super excited about them.
Yeah. Like I said, we got draft picks for days, bro. We got draft picks for days. And just because, like I say, because of that division, you got to remember, Brock's only 6 foot, maybe 6'1".
He's 6 foot.
6 foot.
6 foot. And you the one way you protect him, the one way he's able to see the field, you stop these guys from coming up the middle. We know what Trent's gonna do on the outside, but we gotta get stronger up the middle, stop these guys from blocking his view, stop these guys from putting that pressure on him up the middle. And that's why I think that they'll go interior linemen depending on who's available, depending on how the draft.
I hope you're right, man. I don't think it's going to happen, but I hope you're right, Larry. If they got, for example, let's say they went Pregnon, Ione, either one of those guys, you're talking about a slam dunk, dunk left guard for the next 10 years.
And Corey, you know what? I do agree with you that of course, Lynch is old school. Lynch, he loves, like he said many times, he loves building inside out. Yep. And for all of Kyle's, wizardry, I'm gonna draft a 8-foot wide receiver to play tackle and guard and run routes. For all the stuff he do, you got to remember, true to his heart, he's his dad. He's his dad, and he loves to run the ball.
And last year was the first year we couldn't do it.
Yeah,
so it might change some philosophies.
I hope you're right. I hope you're right, and they take interior, unless. And here's the next thing I want to get into. This is my pipe dream, so I'm gonna kick this thing off real quick. Hey, if anybody from the Niners is paying attention, I know we just some fans. Look, if you say you want to win the Super Bowl, Go get me Myles Garrett. Salary cap, $9 million this year. I don't give a damn what you got to trade. Trade 2 first-round picks and a second next year or this year. Trade 3 first-round picks. I don't care. If you're telling me you want to win the Super Bowl, go get Myles Garrett. The rumors are out there. You go get him. Not only do you win by getting him, you win by keeping him away from Philly, Seattle, and LA. Because if one of those teams get Myles Garrett, it is over for us. It do not matter who we draft. How you feel, LG? What you hear? What you think about the Myles Garrett rumors out there?
I don't care about the Myles Garrett rumors. I've said it before, and y'all heard me say it again. I think the easier trade for us is the Crosby trade. That's the easier trade. And
I don't think nobody wants him right now.
I mean, because think about it, like you said, the problem with the Crosby trade is, and the reason why the Ravens backed out is not because of him being healthy this season, it's because of long-term future.
Yep.
We don't care about the future. We need him right now. Like you said, pushing our chips in. We pushing our chips in. Max, we need you to be good for 2 to 3 years. We'll figure out whatever happened after that. But for right now, I think that will be the easiest deal to make. And you got to remember, the Raiders are rebuilding. Brian, I know you probably know, but how many third-round picks do we have this year?
4.
We traded 1.
No. We don't have.
We don't have a third.
We have no thirds. We have 4 fours.
Yeah, 4 fours. Yeah. We got 4 fours. We constantly are getting commissary picks. We probably end up getting another one for Jennings. Like I said, the Raiders are in rebuild mode. Hey, look, we'll send you.
But the Raiders,
we'll send you a first and 2 fourths and a pick next year. Because Max ain't 2 first-round picks compensation right now.
But they said they not moving. As of right now, they're saying they're not moving off.
Everybody says that, but then you know what happens? Somebody gets moved. And if
but Corey, part of that too is like you already moved him. Hey, we're not moving him. We love the guy, except we've already traded him once. So and part of being the guy that's second in line is I'm not paying the same price that the first guy paid.
No.
Right?
But this is the Raiders we're talking about. This is the Raiders. This is a terrible organization.
Is the biggest. Well, it's not even that it's a terrible organization, which I'm not saying you're wrong. But the biggest problem with your theory, LG, and we all know this, the Raiders, and especially Mark Davis, they ain't going to do anything to help the Niners.
Facts.
Like that's the reason why I feel like it's almost impossible for us. When's the last time you remember the Niners getting any star player from the Raiders?
I'm gonna put it like this. You got to remember that he's a little hands off right now, but getting Myles Garrett out of Cleveland is gonna take a king's ransom. I'm just being honest.
Pay it.
Do you want to pay a king's ransom for Myles Garrett?
But let me ask you this though, right? Like you're saying, hey, it's gonna take a king's ransom, and I'm not saying you're wrong because he's the best player in the NFL. I think that's probably factual, right? At least defensively. But you just traded away his head coach, the one that he thought was going to be the head coach, and he comes to you and says, "Hey, trade me. I don't want to play for you guys." You really want to go through that? Remember the whole Hassan Reddick with the Jets? Like you really want to go through that with a star player that literally can get media attention? It's going to be on NFL. It's going to be blasted everywhere. You got a brand new head coach. You want that question all the time? You got to understand, like. He signed that contract. You just put the pieces together. He signed that contract, I believe, with the thought process that Jim Schwartz was going to be the head coach. Because as soon as Schwartz basically found out he wasn't going to be the guy, that's when Myles Garrett was like, "I want to be traded." He doesn't. He ain't feeling Munkin.
You don't move his bonus to right before the season if you're not trying to trade him, because now it's tradable. Now the contract is tradable. And like I said, $9 million cap hit this year. But
it goes up exponentially next year.
Yes, but the biggest win is the 3 teams that stand in our way are the other 3 teams circling around him right now.
Like I said, I think that the asking price is gonna be super steep. And we kind of hit on it before. We did that with Trey Lance. We paid that. More.
This ain't Trey Lance. This ain't
Trey Lance. And I get it, but do we want a mortgage?
Mike, you're talking about starting point, Micah Parsons.
Yeah.
2 firsts and a player.
and a
Yeah.
player.
Starting
Yeah,
point.
that's a
Starting
starting
point.
point. Yeah,
So,
yeah.
like, my question is to you: if you guys want to have a legit conversation about this, would you say, what if the Browns said, "Hey, how about 2 firsts and Nick Bosa"?
Bye.
Okay,
Hey,
because
I
because
help
remember I
you
brought that
back.
up. Remember I
I help
brought that
you
up.
back.
the two firsts and a reigning defensive player of the year, like you're talking, that's a lot, man. That's what I'm
Uh,
Look,
saying. We got
man.
to talk about.
I would
Look,
say
man.
if it was because he kept, yeah, I remember he coming off injury. If it was like Bosa, a first and a late round pick or a conditional pick, we make the move. Because yeah, think
Yeah,
about
you're
it.
right. Two
Think
first
about
Two
and
it.
Bosa
firsts is
is
a
a lot.
lot.
That's a
Is a
lot. You're
lot.
right. You're right.
Yeah,
I
it's a
got a
lot.
little overzealous. You're right.
But if you
Yeah,
think
he was like,
about it though,
hey, I feel like I could have said 5 and he'd have been like, bye.
I probably would
no.
have said bye.
Well, I mean, Cleveland might make that because think about it. Now you might have more fans because
Well, because
he's from Ohio, so
he's
you
from,
might
that's what I was gonna say. He's from the area,
yeah.
and like you said, not only is he from the area, but if Nick was gonna go anywhere, he'd want to go back home, right?
We're gonna go back home.
So you're talking about bringing a hometown kid back. That's why I mentioned it, because I think if you're gonna make that kind of move, you got to get a star in return. Cleveland has been a dumpster fire for so long. Like, you can't just say, "Hey, give us 3 firsts." Like,
Let me
they've already proven they're like the Niners. They haven't done nothing with their picks ever. They
let
need
me
a
let me
they
let
need a
me let
star
me ask
player.
this. Let
But
me
if
ask
you
this
move in
because
Bosa, then now
I
you
would
don't add in that much of a compensation for
that
draft
and that
capital.
but
Don't do
well,
that.
not only that, I shouldn't have said what I
Corey's
said.
already made the deal, man. I
No,
got
no,
Bosa
no.
on the plane.
I'm like the Raven. I'm like the Ravens. I take it back.
Veto,
I take it back.
veto that,
Yeah.
Look.
Hey, hey
veto
Trey,
that.
you'll take the deal. Okay, yeah, we won't meet up with Max.
No,
Look, I think part of getting Miles Garrett to me would be the pairing him up with Bosa. That's where I say you're a Super Bowl contender if you do that. So I don't want to get rid of Bosa. Whoa. They're holding on to Brandon Ayuk for some reason.
we
What if
said we
they
I
wasn't
want to
gonna
say
get.
speak that name
I,
in Hill,
I
brother.
want to. Hey, I want to get to that because I think there's actually a very good, and actually, for all the negative I say about them, I actually think there's a very good and logical reason Lynch and Shanahan have not moved him. So we'll get to that later.
I was give me two first and number 11 because Shador need a weapon. You wouldn't do
Yeah,
that?
Oh, I listen. I are you kidding me? For me, that's basically 2 firsts. Like,
Yeah.
I'll give you Brandon Ayuk. I might give you 3 firsts. Like, if you're going to get rid of $30 million in cap,
yeah.
like
I just,
that's not like a benefit to Cleveland. I would give
I
you
just
3 and Ayuk.
Yeah.
I just feel like my biggest thing is I do not want those other three. If we're trying to win, I
No,
do
yeah,
not
it
want
makes
those.
sense.
I
It
don't want
makes
those other
sense.
three. Yeah, I don't want those other three teams
But
to have a
you
chance
have
at
to
it.
also look at their cap space, right? Like, I know he's only
Seattle
nine
has it.
million. Well, I know Seattle does for sure, but Philly does not. Because the whole reason why they were considering moving Jalen Carter is because they paid their other D tackle, and they don't have a ton of cap space, right? Like, I know for that type of player, maybe you do some gymnastics, but what kind of message does it send in the locker room when you won't pay your own All Pro, but you'll pay somebody else's?
It sends the message that he ain't Miles Garrett. That's the message it sends.
All
I
right,
mean, you
That's
know,
maybe,
the
it.
thing.
maybe.
Hey, look, I look. I don't think Seattle has a space for him.
Seattle
Oh,
has the space. They're
I
yeah,
not
think
they
they have
got
paying
the
like
space.
they got
anybody.
like 50 million in space.
Sam
Oh
Darnold's
yeah,
on
yeah,
a
that's right, that's
payday
right.
deal.
But like I
Yeah.
said, I'm kind of seeing what Corey's saying now. If you pairing him with Bosa, and then the problem that we run into all the time is when Bosa's off the field.
Yep.
We don't have another legitimate pass rusher.
Flash
So
don't come off the field.
no, no, well,
One
occasionally he will.
thing though, and I know it's not a huge thing, but for DNs it kind of is. They both rush from the same side. Just a FYI, they
I,
both rush from the
I
same
Nick moves a
seen
side.
little bit more.
I seen 95 tell Micah Parsons he can rush from anywhere.
Yeah,
That's what he told Micah Parsons.
yeah. But hey, look, hey, if it happened, hey, I'll be the first person I mentioned it last year. Hey,
Hey,
we could have
I'll
potentially
pop the
make.
champagne right now.
Yeah, we could
It's
potentially do it.
a pipe dream, but I just turned 40. I ain't seen a Super Bowl since I was 8.
Look,
Listen,
Yeah,
it's been a while since I've
it's been a
seen one,
while.
and I'm a little older than you. It's starting to fade a little bit. You know what I mean? It's time. It's definitely time for another one.
yeah,
Yeah,
we need that, and they need to be serious about winning. And the, the next thing we're gonna talk about lets me know that some people in this
I,
organization ain't serious about winning.
look, I think that Lynch he's had those moments where he said, "Let me put our chips in. We're gonna make these home run deals," and I think now he's a little bit more cautious about making those deals. Because let's just be honest with each other. Like, dude, how many times have you seen these teams bring in all these quote unquote superstars, and this is pushing us over the edge, and it don't happen, and it fails?
It's fair, but
Well,
if you're thinking about the Niners, like let's keep it a buck, right?
Yeah,
We traded big for Trent Williams, home run.
yeah,
We
home
traded
run,
big for Christian McCaffrey, home run.
home run.
When we identify a superstar player, we're good. Where we get into trouble is when we spend big dollars on free agents that worked in somebody else's system that we're not sure. When you're looking at a guy like Miles Garrett, he's going to work in anyone's system
yep.
because he's just that good. The problem is when we try to fit a round peg into a square hole. Like that's the problem. Like Hargrave. Like we're like, oh, well, when he was on Philly's defensive line with three
Yeah,
other, Pro Bowlers, he was great. Well, yeah, but we don't have three Pro Bowlers on our defensive line. You know what I mean? Like everybody looks good when you're rushing, on that D line.
yeah.
So
Meanwhile,
that's
we
part of the
didn't want to pay a
problem.
D lineman and traded him away, and we could have just paid him.
I mean, listen, historically, like we could do a 2 hour show just on the mistakes that Kyle and John have made, not just in the draft, but yeah, I mean, you get rid of Buckner, you get rid of Armstead, you get rid of, I mean, all these guys that they decided like either A, they didn't want to pick, like you literally got rid of Buckner and drafted, you drafted freaking, what was that guy's name?
Kinlaw.
Kinlaw
Kinlaw.
to be his replacement. I was like, that dude could not wipe Buckner's shoes. He couldn't clean his jock strap. If 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 Buckner just worked an 18-hour shift and his left arm was tied behind his back, he's still a better pass rusher. Like it was insanity that they thought that was going to work out and be okay. Like you can't have an all pro type guy and be like, yeah, you know what, we'll just replace him. Like,
Yeah, they
what are
grow
you
on
talking
trees.
about?
They grow on
Well,
trees.
there's Pro Bowl defensive tackle, no problem. Just draft him in the first round. So, they've made a lot of mistakes. So, the one thing I will say, I'm not a guy that likes to throw around draft capital because I realize the value of it. But if you're talking about getting a CMC, a Trent Williams, a Miles Garrett, like, I mean, for a move like that, sure. Like, I don't want to give up a second round pick, right, to get like James Addison, right? Or like, I don't
That's
want to give
yeah.
up, right? Like, don't give me a guy that like worked in somebody else's system that's like a number two or three wide receiver, and you're like, they could be good here. Like, we've seen that enough. We've seen that. So that would be my thing. But
I mean,
yeah.
it's gonna take a lot. I'm gonna put it like this: it's gonna take a lot because I've been giving Andrew Berry his kudos, bro. Like, dude, you want Travis Hunter? I'm on a King's ransom for him. Hey, he got to me. I feel like fair value for Kenny Pickett. He got fair value for old Flacco. Like he's been doing
Yeah.
some good willing and dealing. And I think that if you want Miles, if he's backed into that corner, like okay, I gotta trade him. Like I say, he got what 2 firsts for Travis Hunter. He's gonna want a King's ransom. Now, if it pushes us over the edge and we say, okay, well we can give up all this draft capital. They don't want Bosa. They don't want a quote unquote star player. They just want a quality player because Cleveland got holes. They just want a quality player. Yeah,
Two first. What
let's
if
make
they
the deal.
say? What if they say two firsts and McKell?
Williams.
Yeah,
Yeah, I'll make the deal because you know what?
there
Okay.
you go.
And y'all can hold me to this, but the I'm gonna say the first round picks haven't been as successful under Kyle and Lynch as the middle to late round picks.
And
Round
you know
five
why
is the
that is?
sweet spot, man.
Oh,
Round
You
bro,
know,
five. That's the reason
sweeter than a
why
virgin's honey pot, boy.
listen.
Hey,
That's
look,
why I'm so
hey,
excited that we got four fours because you know what? I'm so glad that they traded away the third because the only round that we can't draft in is three or the top half of the first. So
you
we
don't
don't
want to
have the
kick her?
top half of the first. Yeah, we don't want a kicker, so we don't need a pick in the third. Like those two rounds, like if you look, like whether it's Trey Sermon, Jake Moody, like you go on and on. Like the third round picks have been horrific, horrific for this team, and first round picks. So I love that we have four fours. We have some flexibility to move up and down in the draft if we want to. But I think there is going to be a stud at 27, and I think there will be a stud at I believe it's 54 for us. And so I mean, if they nail those first two picks, listen, just like last year, boys, we needed to have a good draft. I feel like we had a pretty good draft. You know what? I think when you look at West and Collins and Upton Stout and even Mikael Williams, they're all contributors, they're all good players. We need another draft just like that. We can't draft zeros. We can't draft guys that don't make the squad or that are nothing burgers. We need guys that are going to contribute and contribute early.
yeah. But if we're gonna get Miles Garrett, trade all them damn picks. Trade them all.
like
Hey,
like
trade them all.
like the Rams say, F them picks, man.
Hey, look, we gonna make a Ricky Williams deal over here. Look, hey, trade them all.
And you know
Hey,
what?
sit this
In
one
the
out.
vein of the Rams, you know what? A lot of people hated that they traded for Stafford. They won a Super Bowl. It does if they do nothing else. He doesn't win another thing. They won a Super Bowl. It's justified.
And that
Yeah,
That's the difference between teams playing it safe and teams going for it. I'll always respect the Rams for what they did, getting a championship like that. And you know what? I respect the hell out of what they've done this offseason, going, hey, you know what? We couldn't cover JSN. Let's go get Duffy. Let's go get a Pro Bowl corner that we think we can line up on him that could cover him 1v1 because we know offensively we can move the ball, but we could not stop JSN to save our life.
and see that's why I said we gotta fix the O line. To think about it now, just alone having him at corner with that D line, we gotta go offense, bro. We got to. We got to make sure that we can match up on the offensive end of the ball. I feel like the defensive end will be good enough on the defensive side, especially if we
So
can
what do
get
you
Warner.
So LG, what is your like I know you guys don't dive into it like I do, but like in your mind, right? You got a first, you got a second, you got four fours. Like in your mind, what's the positions that we're hitting in like the round? And I'd love to hear your
Um,
idea as
I
well,
think
Corey.
is first foremost. It got to be O line or D tackle. I
Okay.
mean O line. It got to be guard or tackle. Second, it got to be receiver.
Okay.
This is a deep receiver draft. Corey, I know how you said he don't like playing. Debo played as a rookie.
he
That other guy,
also he also
that other,
Debo is a rookie, but he also coached him all through the
but
Senior Bowl.
but I'm saying, but that other guy, he played a lot as
He
a rookie
got
too.
forced in. He was in the
Yeah,
doghouse. That
yeah,
other guy you talking
he
about.
played as a rookie too. And you got to remember, we got hit with a lot of injuries last year. But what was one of the positions that we got? We literally had to sign guys off the street, receiver. So I think they'll go
And
receiver.
linebacker. And
Yeah, and
linebacker.
linebacker. And I think that'll probably be the third pick will be linebacker. Bring in another one because you know what? It's always good to have too many than not enough.
All right.
Always.
So he got O line wide receiver. So that's interesting. What about you, Corey?
In an ideal world, I would go offensive line, receiver, offensive line, the rest of the draft.
Wow. Okay.
Somebody's bound to hit.
So neither one of you guys think that pass rush is an issue. Like we don't need
No,
another
no,
guy to be
no,
able to line
no.
up opposite Bosa.
We need it. I just don't feel like the top pass rushers will be there at 27. And like you said, I haven't dived into it like you.
Yeah.
I don't know any of the pass rushers past round one.
Yeah. Understood. I uh I think we're gonna either go I like the receivers and I really like the O line. I like the thought there, but I really feel like we're gonna go safety or defensive end round one, depending on how they prioritize. The reason I went safety is because I don't like the second and third round safeties as much as I like the second and third round pass rushers. But when you look in this draft at who's potentially going to be there in the second round, R. Mason Thomas, uh, undersized, 6'3", 245, 250-ish pass rusher out of Oklahoma. Derek Moore, 10 plus sacks at Michigan, team captain, all Big Ten, first team. He's the dude, by the way, viral clip. Remember the 6'9", 370-pound tackle at the Senior Bowl? He put him on his ass. He literally went directly bull rush right into his chest, and Moore is only 6'3", 260. He's more of a speed rush type guy. He should be there in round two. Nadam Taylor, he's a small school guy from Eastern Michigan, 14 sacks. He's had an 88 plus pass rush grade each of the last 2 years. There's a bunch of guys that could potentially be there. There's even a kid out of New Mexico who is, I mean, just electric. He kind of reminds me a little bit of Von Miller, like electric first step. But remember when Von came out of Texas A&M, like he was just like strictly a bend the arc kind of guy. Like he's not holding up in pass rush. You're not stunning him to the inside. Like this dude has an electric first step, and I believe his last name is Newbie. But there's going to be guys there that are really good at getting after the passer, that are undersized, that'll be available in round two. I would love to see the Niners go either offensive tackle slash guard or safety in round one, and then come back in round two and go defensive end. And then in round four, like I said, there is a sweet spot, whether it's Jake Slaughter, my favorite, Logan Jones. There is center prospects galore. Logan Jones is actually the center that took over for Tyler Linderbaum when he left Iowa. He was a defensive tackle, switched to offensive tackle, broke Tristan Wirf's clean record of 470 pounds, and he's only 295 pounds. So you're talking about a guy that can anchor, even though he doesn't have the mass, just because he has the sheer power. It takes on a lot of 320, 330-pound guys. Very smart, very cerebral type guy. So I think center would be a really good idea to try and grab a center in potentially round four. And there's actually guys in round four. Remember Tyron Montgomery, the guy everybody was talking about at the Senior Bowl, that was like he was like handing out flag football tape to
Mm.
try to get a scholarship. Ended up going to I can't remember the school, but it was like a D3 school, something Carroll, and went to the Senior Bowl, and literally nobody could cover him. Nobody could cover the kid. He's going to be there into the fourth round. Uh, Caldwell, Jeff Caldwell, he's the guy that's 6'5", 230, went to the Senior Bowl, run a 4.31 at 6'5", 230 from Cincinnati. Like, depending on what they're looking for, size, weight, speed, all that kind of ratio, there's guys that can catch the ball. There's guys that are height, weight, speed guys. There's all types of picks or flavors. But what I would really like to see them do, and I don't know if they'll do it, but you guys are on the right track, is solidify this offensive line and get a freaking safety that can patrol the back end. Like that's a real enforcer. Like remember, like you guys are a little young, but like if you look at when Ronnie Lott got drafted and what the difference was after
Oh,
Ronnie
brother.
Lott, people like legitimately all of a sudden started getting alligator arms. You know what I mean? There wasn't a lot of extension when you were going over the middle. That's what they need. They don't just need a guy that'll pluck the ball. They need a guy, like I said, like Emmanuel McNeil Warren, somebody who's going to come down the field and just lay the pop, so that guys think twice about going over the middle. Niners need to get back to their old roots. You brought back Dre Greenlaw, which is a great start, but you need to get physical.
Yeah, I mean, dude. So I kind of agree. That's why I thought Mustafa was gonna be that guy, because Mustafa is the enforcer. If you can bring that back
Hmm.
out of him, I honestly I think that I want them to pick up one of these vet edge rushers, because I mean, Wisconsin didn't play bad for us last year. Huff didn't play bad for us last year.
He retired.
Yeah, no, but I'm saying Huff didn't play bad for us. I would love, like I said, I would love to get Cam Jordan, and then we bring in, like you say, one of these other guys late in the fourth or second or something like that. Kind of bring them in I'm gonna say a developmental role. Uh, Hell, Hassan Reddick's still out there. Like I would love to see them bring in maybe a Hassan Reddick. Take some of that pressure off of Bosa. like I said, I would love to see them bring in a vet guy, and then because that's our sweet spot. These later fourth, fifth round picks, that's what we bring in. Like you say, that extra rusher, those guys that kind of quote unquote fall down in the draft, but they got plenty of potential. That's where I'm at with it, because like I said, I don't feel like we're that far off from a legitimate run of being where we can be at. If we can move that guy that occupies our wide receiver chair and get some more
Can
draft
we
capital, that would
listen?
be even better.
I know we're close to the end, but can we just talk about the the cancer or the sore, if you will, that's plaguing the locker room? So
Go ahead. Go
Brand,
ahead.
Go ahead.
Brandon Ayuk, we paid Brandon Ayuk $30 million last year. He got paid $7 million a game that he actually played in, right? He's gotten paid $7 million for the games he's played in. I've heard a lot of people say, like, well, just release him. Like, this is bad, or this is, you guys are being awful towards him. No, we're not. This guy's been overpaid since he signed his contract. And the reality is, the Niners hold his right. They don't have any money that goes out to him until September 1st, not June 1st, September 1st. That's a $20 million option bonus if they choose to exercise said option bonus. You know what? Whether it is a training camp and somebody gets injured, whether it is Washington saying, hey, you know what, we'll give you a fifth or sixth, this man has gotten more than his fair share out of the contract and the deal. If the Niners can recoup absolutely anything from him, a fifth, a sixth, a seventh, a player, whatever it is, you hold on to him as long as possible, because he hasn't done anything, in my eyes, to earn the let me just be released so that I can go where I want to go.
Go and talk about your favorite player, LG.
Man, look, I can't say the words that I want to say. I'm gonna just say that they begin with the letter F. That's all I'm gonna say. I mean,
Fun. Lots of
so
fun.
yeah. So I literally have gotten into arguments with guys. What has Lynch always done by his players? Because he was a player. He's done right by them. Like
Always done right by him.
if you think about it, guys want out, he trade them. Guys want to be released, he released them. We literally just sat up here and we talked about uh, Debo. Debo wanted out. Okay, I'll find somewhere for you to go. I'll trade you because he knew he had value in it. What's the other guy? The D lineman, DeForest Buckner. DeForest Buckner
Buckner.
won. Yeah, no, DeForest Buckner. Hey, look, your number ain't where our number is. Okay, we'll trade you. We'll find you a home, right? Even what's the guy? I think he played in Miami. I'm having a brain last right now. The other D lineman. He wanted out because he kept getting hurt. We was like
Armstead.
Armstead. Okay, Armstead.
Oh yeah, Jacksonville. Yeah.
Yeah, we'll release you. He's always done right by players.
Even with Ayuk,
Even that's what I
remember
was gonna say.
he
He
even they
did
even said, "Hey, where do you want to be traded?"
trade it. And I know me and Sirius have had these conversations because Sirius knows. He literally came out and said, I want to play for Tomlin. Tomlin's my guy. I want to play for Tomlin. The deal was done.
It was done.
Done. He told Pittsburgh, I will not report. The deal was done. You wanted to go first. We worked out the Cleveland trade. The Cleveland trade was done. He told
New England
Cleveland,
too.
I will not report.
Patriots were going to give us the king's ransom. They missed it.
Yep.
They dodged a bullet.
He said, I won't even go there. He said, I won't go there, right? Lynch was trying to do right by this dude. Then you come back, and then he even said, I made things more difficult than what they should have been, right? Okay, so now we fast forward. I'm not even gonna bring up all the other stuff because I want this dude off my team like so bad. If somebody would say, hey, look, we'll give you a conditional 7th round pick and a refrigerator, move this dude off the team, bro. Like right
but
now,
the point is to recoup something, right?
Something. Because we know like you said, late picks is where we can work our magic at. Hey, we get a receiver needy team and they say, you know what? We struck out on the receivers we wanted in the draft. We think we can do something with Brandon Ayuk.
Injured in training camp.
Hey, yeah, injured in training camp. Hey, look, we got one over here for you. Because let's just like I say, let's just keep it real, fellas. And Ayuk coming back, and we gotta remember that that's a major surgery coming back from. And he basically haven't played in over a year. He's probably gonna be 4th on the depth chart. maybe even fifth, depending on who we draft. I don't think that I want a guy making that much money who's fifth on my wide receiver room. I just don't.
I put it to
Yeah,
you
And
like
he's
this.
he ain't gonna play
uh,
it down here. You don't have to worry about that. He's not gonna
yeah,
play it down here.
he's not. He's not. But I
I
don't
put
even
it
want
to
him in the
you.
room. That's what I'm saying. I don't even want him in the room. His access card should be like denied, denied. He should be
It
swiping
is.
it left and right, and it just won't work. Like that's what his access card should be. But I don't want a guy on my roster making that much. Who, even if everything was perfect in a perfect world, he would be probably fifth. I don't want it.
We got to get out of here, but I'm gonna put it to y'all like this. I agree with holding him to see if you can get something for him because you don't have to move him yet. I just don't think we'll get something for him. I don't think nobody will give up nothing, and I think we'll end up cutting him anyway. But it does not hurt to keep him until you
Hmm.
have to make a move.
Corey, you know what I'm gonna tell you? Hey, look, Cleveland, you want to do the Miles Garrett deal? We're gonna give you a king's ransom, and you
But
know
you got to
what?
take him.
You know what's a
Yep.
BOGO?
You
You know
got to
what's a
take him.
Yep.
BOGO? Hey, you know what's a you buy one get one free? Hey, look,
Yeah.
hey,
Yeah.
he's the free toy that you get in the
Yeah.
package.
Hey,
Like,
Brandon. Brandon, remember how you said you didn't want to pay for the Patriots? Don't worry. You're going to Cleveland, buddy.
yeah, yeah.
Hey,
Hey, look,
Shador out there, you got it. Go have fun.
hey, he got it. Look, hey, we don't do no business with the Raiders, but you know what, Raiders? Hey, look, we want a conditional. Hey, look, y'all pay us a 2039 draft pick. He'll be the traded for the furthest draft pick you ever heard of, and we'll be like, look, he got traded for a 2040 conditional seventh round pick. Like I said, I'm going, what's called Alona? I'm going, Will Ferrell. Hey, we need a refrigerator or a stove.
A
Hey,
washing machine.
throw in a couple of knee braces and a couple of arm slings for us, man. Look, I want that dude off my team so bad. Y'all gonna think I'm joking. This will be the first time in NFL history you see a trainer get traded for a player. We just traded for a team doctor for
Hey,
Brandon Ayuk.
we could use a team trainer. That actually
Hey,
might be worth a first round
look,
pick.
hey,
They
look,
hiring.
while you playing around, you could have Brandon Ayuk for the best ankle wrapper in the league, man. Look, hey, I need somebody who know how to wrap ankles and apply neosporin or something. Look, you got traded for Brandon Ayuk. Look, hey,
Yeah,
you can
I'm
trade
getting.
coaches. Hey, just trade a trainer. Look, I'm just saying
Yeah,
that dude need to be
I'm getting.
gone.
I'm getting y'all out of here on that note. Hell of a first show, fellas. Brian gonna get
Yep.
us up out of here.
Yeah, man, it was excellent as always, man. Hanging out with you boys. Uh, fantastic talking Niners as always. I knew we wouldn't have a problem finding time and content. We all love our boys, and just gonna say, you know what, man, we got one more hurdle, the draft, and getting rid of LG's boy, and I think there's still a little magic that we're gonna see in the next month. Think there's gonna be a little magic we see in the next month. All right,
I hope
boys, take
you're right.
care.
See you on the next one.
Brian.
Go ahead, LG.
Love kicking it with Brian, man. Hey, Corey, man, this been something that been cooking up for a minute, man. Hey, I was amped up all day. I'm like, yes, we about to do this Niners show. Love talking Niners, man. Look, hey, I try to be as realistic as possible when it comes to my Niners. Look, realistic expectations, realistic goals. Try to throw a little bit of, like I say, our wish list. Because every
Yeah,
team
yeah,
like to
yeah.
have them wishful thoughts, and you just never know. Like I said, who would have thought Mike Evans first out the gate signing with the Niners? So we'll see what happened. Like I say, more coming. Hey, this is the first of many shows. Look, check out everything we doing over in Executive View. Got to put that out there. Tomorrow we back on the regular show. Corey, backstage business. Hey, look, we got more
Yes,
stuff
sir.
coming up. Hey, Niner fans, stay rocking with us. And as always, bang, bang, Niner gang, man. I'm
Yeah.
out.
Yes, sir. Hey, if you joined us tonight, we appreciate you. 49er Faithful Nation. We'll be back. Stay tuned to all our channels. You know, we got the executive view on YouTube, Facebook, Spotify, TikTok, and IG. Like LG said, we got a whole lot of stuff coming. You got the main sports show on Tuesday night at 9 p.m. If you're a wrestling fan, we got the backstage business on Wednesday night. You can come talk wrestling with us. And like LG said, bang bang Nana gang. If you see the show, like the show, share the show, tell a friend. to tell a friend. We'll see you on the next one. Bang, bang.